Yes, let's start today's session. So in the last session, we were discuss about basics of console application, how to create console application, how to add class, and how to change startup object in console application to write a program clearly. We discussed. Now, in the last session, two programs we discussed clearly. So that is how to display the statements onto the screen like string values. Here also, this is string value. But for a change, I want to display some integer values, how to display the integer values. It's very simple and basic programs will start now. So look at here, I'm just adding one more class to my project, add class. The project name is, class name is, you can mention it any name, whatever you want. Just click on add class. You know that when we create a class by default every time, and main method will not come. So if you want to add main method, just you can add it by typing your own way, like static void main. This is a static void main method. You have to add it. But if you don't want add manually, if you don't want to add manually, then we can type it svm static for S for static, V for void, M for main. Then double tap, we can press it. Automatically, the main method is going to add it. Once the main method is added, you can start writing your program from here. So previous examples, we have seen how to display just string values. But for a change, I want to take here integer declaration. So how to declare the integer value here? Int is a data type. Don't worry, I'll talk about data types later. Okay, in most probably tomorrow's session, I'll discuss complete data types, whatever it is there. And these are the basic data type, and similar kind of data types are there in what we have seen in C, C++, same thing. And I'm declaring the variables like int a equals to 10, int b equals to 20. This is just for simple declaration of the variables. A and b are variables, 10, 20 are values, int is a data type. So you want to display float values, so you can able to print float values also, no problem. Float b equals to 20.4 or something like that. Okay, so let's take integer value first. Later we'll talk about float. So I want to print these values. How to print these values? Two values are there. Console.writeLine. So I'm writing my description. Value of a is, value of a is, value of a is. Then plus is a concatenation, which is used to add variable data to the statement. I'm using a. So as soon as when we press enter a, so now you can see a is already available in the IntelliSense because already I declared the a. So you can able to capture from there. So enter it, semicolon. Now console.writeLine, value of b is, plus b. Now you can see a and b is available. Now to stay back to our screen now, console.read I'm using, console.read. So this is the program, just how to display integer values to the output screen. But now when we execute directly this, when I click on start button, so you'll be able to see that execution. But you know that very well in C#.NET console application, every program is an individual program. So if you want to execute particular program, you have to change startup object. This is not our program, it is previous program. So let me change startup object to execute this class too. How do we change startup object here? Let's go to Solution Explorer. Let's go to Solution Explorer and let's go to double click on properties. Once you double click on properties, expand this startup object. How many number of classes you have in your project? That many number of classes are present here. Which class you would like to execute, select that proper class. And don't forget to save this. Click on save it and run this now. Once you execute this one, so you can see this value of A is 10, value of B is 20, like this it's coming. Understand? Yes. So this is just for display the values, integer values. But here you can see both are integers only. So why don't we declare in the same line? Yes, we can declare in the same line, like B equals to 20 also. One int is enough, but both variables values are different. You can do this. But this is also work out, no problem at all. But look at here, how many values are there? Two values. But how many output statements have written? Two statements. But is that required two statements? Can't we display only one single statement. Yes. Yeah. In properties, what we have to change means, look at here once again, Mr. Raghavendra. Go to startup object, means go to Solution Explorer, double click on properties. Here, startup object is there, no? Startup object means it will decide what program you want to run, so that you can expand it. Which program? We have three classes are there in my project. Class 1, class 2 program. It is first program, it is second program, third program. Just now I have added class 2. This I want to execute. Select it and save it. Save. After that, run it. So required program is going to run. This is the way to do this. Okay, required program you have to run. So now you can see this is our current program, it's running. Or else you want to run first program. First program is what? This is the program.cs. If you want to execute this program, then we have to change the startup object of that program. So like Solution Explorer again, properties, expand startup object, program, save it, and run it. So this is the way to execute the program individual. Hello Durga. So it is the first program here. Okay. So whichever it is required to run that program, we have to set it as a startup object and it's save it and run it. So this is the way to execute the program. Now look at here. Here I have written two console.writeLine statements for two variables. So we can also give only one statement for two variables. So before that, let me comment this. You know that how to comment this. So select these lines, what lines you want to comment, and click on this comment section, automatically commented. Now I want to take this only one statement here. So what statement here? So values of A and B are okay. Then you can see there are different ways to write, give the multiple values to that output values. Like you can see plus, colon, comma, plus, B, plus, double quote, like this we have to use. This is the way to give. So don't get confused here. Let me show you once again. So this is the way to add a group of values to the console window, group of values to the output window. Mr. Ravi Patti, close your video. I'm able to see you this. Close your webcam. Yeah, that's fine. Good. Okay. Yeah. You can see this is what double quote plus plus one value. Again, one more double quote plus plus another value. Let me show you clearly. First, you have to take two double quotes, come in between, two plus symbols, come in between. What variable value you want to display? That this is one, comma. Next, one, two double quotes, come in between, plus plus, come in between. B. This is one value. So one variable value like this you have to represent. Next variable value you have to represent like this. So I did that only here. You can see this. Two double quotes plus plus A, one value, comma. Two double quotes plus plus B, another value. But this double quote is ended with the first. Already I have started with double quotes, so that's what I have closed it with the double quotes only. This is so one statement is enough to print multiple values. No need to display with group of values. Values of A and B are 10, 20. It's coming. This is one way. And still we have another way also to display the values, multiple values in within one statement. What is that? You can see this based on indexes. Now console.writeLine, console.writeLine, values are zero location first value, comma one location second value, then A comma B. I can say that this is the case actually. A comma B values are. So zero location, one location. Here two variables are there. That's what I'm taking, two locations. If you have three variables, index we have to change like 0, 1, 2 like this. Now I can say values of A, values are 10, 20. It's coming clearly here. 10, 20 values are coming. A comma B. So this is the options we have to display the values in the output screen. What way you want to display, that way we can able to use it, no problem at all. All the ways are, I have shown this. Just a variable declaration and values are there. Now, in these programs, what I have shown, just inside the program, I declared string value, I declared integer value, and we display back them to the user. But the thing is here, how to accept values at runtime, sir? Yes, this is another thing. how to accept values at runtime. Runtime means what? At the time of execution of program, I need to enter some values. I need to accept values. Okay. So that is how to accept values at runtime I'm showing. So to accept values at runtime, I said that read and read line methods are there. Okay. So read and read lines to accept values at runtime. First, I want to show you accept a string value at runtime. What value? Accept a string value at runtime. I am going to show you string value at runtime. How to accept string value at runtime. For that, I'm adding one more class. Easily we can add the class. So I'm adding class 3. Let's start. Now, SVM main method. Main method is an entry point of the program. In C#.NET, you can add main method anywhere inside the program. It can be a starting, it can be an ending, it can be a middle, no matter. Okay, it is not a top-down approach or what we can say a bottom to top like this. Anywhere it can be able to use it. But here I am asking to the user, just in the output window, I want to show you console.write line. I am going to show that enter your name. Just I am asking the name. As soon as when we enter the name, like group of characters, like string format, so I need to store that into separate variable string s. String is a data type, s is a variable. How to read the values, group of values, console.readLine method is required. Using this readLine method, I am trying to read the characters. So and stored in a variable called string. String is a group of characters, you know that. Console.writeLine, I am going to display back that username. So your name is plus yes, because our name is holding on s variable. Finally, to stay back to our screen, console.read, I'm saying that console.read. That's it. It's very straightforward program. First line just for displaying the output, just for reading, enter your name. And as soon as when we enter the name, when we accept values at running time from the user, that values will go and stored in s variable, that is completely string value. We are reading that group of characters using readLine method. And after that, we are printing back that name to the user. Your name is so and so, that is s, and reading the statements. Let's run this one. Again, if you would like to run this one, what we need to do? Immediately we need to change startup object. How do we change startup object? Solution Explorer, properties, change it. Now we have added extra class here. So class 3, save it and run it. That's all. Now it will ask you to enter a name. So enter your name. So I'm typing the name here. It is my input. I'm giving input. But you are giving input as a programmer, it's fine. But your application should read your input, no? For that I mentioned what? Read line. So press enter, it's read it, and your name is going to display back to the user and so on. Okay. But you may get that, sir, I want to get clarity whether my input is going to stored in s variable or not. I want to check. How do I check? Yes, for that process, okay, you have an option called breakpoint option, like debugging option is there. How do we debug the program with line by line checking process? Let's see this. Generally, you can keep the breakpoint in the logic part. Where do you want to see the values? On that line, you can put the breakpoint. How do we keep the breakpoint? You can see this. I'm keeping the breakpoint here in the 14th line. Just come to here and click with mouse. So red circle is available. This is called breakpoint. But how do we remove the breakpoint, sir? Yes, at the same time, we can click over there again. So it will be removed. So wherever you want to keep the breakpoint, you can just keep that. Click with mouse. It's automatically it's coming breakpoint. After breakpoint keeping, what we need to do? Just click on start option. Start means run. But when we execute this, it will not come output directly. So it will become completely yellow color of this line. Now you can see whenever we keep the breakpoint here, when I place mouse pointer on s variable, now what is showing right now? Null. Null means what? Right now, nothing is there in s. We don't have any data in s. Nothing is there in s. So if you want to move to next line, what we need to do immediately? So I strongly recommend to move to next line every time you can press function key plus F11 from your keyboard. What we need to do? Function key plus F11 you have to press. So I want to move to next line here. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to press in my keyboard function key plus F11. Function key plus F11 I'm pressing. Now it will go to next line. Immediately it will ask enter your name. So here in the console window, this is output window. You have to enter the name like this. Any name you can enter. Then press enter button. Immediately once you press enter button, where it will go, that name, it will go and stored in S variable. You can see this. I am placing mouse pointer on S. So here we are able to observe the Mohan value is going to stored in S variable. Clearly it is available. Okay. So if you want to visualization of this variable value, so you can have the options here. So text visualizer, XML visualizer, HTML visualizer, JSON visualizer is there. But I want to go for text visualizer here. Text visualizer, HTML visualizer means when we click on that, so you will have HTML visualizer. This value is available here. The expression is S value is Mohan. It's coming. Understand? So this is the value. And we are printing that value here only. So value is Mohan, it's coming. Your name is so and so, S value, that is Mohan, it's coming. Again, if you want to move to next line, press F11. Again F11, like this, till the until you get this output. So you can keep on press F11, F11. Your name is Mohan, it's coming. So this is what accepting values at runtime and how to keep the breakpoint, how to execute step by step, line by line execution. See, when we need this breakpoint option, and then we need this debugging option means sometimes when we write large lines of code, but as a programmer, you may not find out whether the value is available in the variable or not. But what's happening internally, whether my input is going to the variable or not, you can able to cross verify by keeping this breakpoint and check line by line. So this program is showing clearly integer values at running time. Yes, how to accept integer values at runtime. But now another important thing is accept integer values at runtime. Yes, this is somewhat different. Accept integer values at runtime. You can see integer values at runtime. So you are going to accept string values, no problem. But when we try to accept integer values at runtime, what is the problem you may get? You can see by default in C#.NET, entire the C#.NET or entire the .NET programming languages, whatever you are going to give input at running time, whatever you are going to give input at running time, that value is by default treated as string. Okay, by default, by default, values at runtime, at runtime, at runtime are treated as string format only. By default, values whatever we enter at runtime, that all values are going to treated as what's a string format only. Suppose just I want to write a program to add two numbers. Let's see this quickly. Add two numbers means not like this. You can see this is exactly perfect because we declared the variables inside the program, no problem at all. Here you can see int a equals to int a, b, c. A value I'm giving 100, b value I'm giving 200, c equals to a plus b. Finally, what we are doing here, console.writeLine, sum is c. This is not at all big deal. Actually, it is very simple program. I took three variables. In that two variables values already I decided, and third variable value I'm giving now. So for adding two numbers, let's try to do this now. But here integer only I declare 10, 100 and 200 it's giving. So the result is perfectly it will come. No need to do any conversion here in the class 4. Inside the program only I decided that is integer type. So happily the sum values are coming like 300 it's coming. It's not. Okay. But when I try to accept these values at runtime, not here, okay, not compile time. I'm giving here only the values, but I would like to accept these values at runtime. Okay, means I need to ask here console.writeLine, enter two numbers. Just I'm asking console.writeLine, enter two numbers. I'm asking two numbers at runtime. Okay, console.writeLine, enter two numbers. But whenever we are asking two numbers, for example, my first number is 10 and second number is 20. By default, values at runtime are treated as what? String. Even though when I give some integer numbers like 10 and 20, at running time, these values are treated as what? String. Yes, this 10 also is treated as string and 20 also treated as string. But your requirement is what? You need to do arithmetic addition. Means you need to do two numbers addition, but you can't do this. You can't do this without explicit conversion. Implicit conversion is not possible in .NET. If you want, you can convert that explicitly only by using proper methods. Okay. So here the problem is what, you can see this. I'm not going to ask here. I'm not giving any values here. Just I want to ask to that user console data readline I'm using same previous program what we use, but it will not work out. Console data readline I'm using, so it will not work out. Look at here when we execute this. Yes, implicit conversion. Yes, implicit conversion means internally by default program itself it will convert, but implicit conversion is not possible. Explicit conversion means you have to convert that programmer, you have to convert as a programmer from one data type to another data type. When I say no, you can see what is the error. Cannot implicitly convert the type string to int. Means by default it's going to be treated as runtime string values only. Okay, so you can see this string values only, but the problem is what? You are not going to treat it as string. You need to treat them as an integer. Okay, that's what it is unable to convert from string to integer. Cannot implicitly convert from string to integer. From string to integer means string values. By default at runtime, what values we are accepting? String values only it will take. But that should be convert into integer format. But who should convert? As a programmer, you should convert. So to convert from string to integer, to convert from string to integer, we have conversion methods. What conversion methods? There are two conversion methods are there. Convert dot to int method. Next one is int dot parse method. These two methods are there. Especially these two methods are used to convert from string to integer. There are two options we have. One is convert dot to int method. Another one is int dot parse method we have. You can apply any one of these. But what is the main difference between convert dot to int as well as int dot parse? For sure that these two methods, convert dot to int as well as int dot parse, both are going to successfully convert string into integer. But if you want to know the difference between these two, I'll tell you one example later. Just wait. I'm trying to convert this convert dot to int and int dot parse. See, here I'm using first convert dot to int method, convert dot to int. But look at here, whenever I take to int, we are having the option called 216, 234, 230, 32, 216, 64 is there. It just depends on your range of values. Let me take 32. It's a medium range of console.readline. This is exactly we are doing explicit conversion method. So next I'm doing convert.to int 32 of console.readline. So this is also possible to convert here. Let's go and close it now. Okay, now when we execute this program, we can see this clearly. We can able to enter the values. Okay, enter two numbers. First number I'm entering. Actually, as soon as when we enter this 10 number, by default it is treated as string only. Okay, but we use convert dot to int method. No, we converted that into integer format. Again 20 and sum is that it is coming. This is the way to convert explicitly, but implicit conversion is not possible. Sir, instead of this, can we use int dot parse also? Yes, you can use. Now you can see I'm showing that int dot parse also. Int dot int dot parse. Int dot parse, we can say that int dot parse. Int dot parse of console dot readline. Here also I'm using int dot parse of console dot readline. Both are working fine. Int dot parse. Int dot parse. Okay, so this is also workout and that is also workout. But what is the difference between convert dot to int as well as int dot parse? I'll try to show you in the next example. You can see sum is 30. Okay, but to show the difference between int dot parse and convert dot to int, I'm writing one simple example. You can see this. Try to understand this example. so that you will get clarity while converting from one data type to another data type. What is the difference between convert dot to int method into dot parse method? For that, I'm taking this example. But look at here, I'm just declaring one string s equals to 100. Do you think this 100 is a string? Yes, it's 100. 100 is a string. Why it is a string? Because you are taking the string value in the double quote format, Yes, you are taking the string value in the double quote format. That's what it is treated as string only. String s equals to 100. But my requirement is what? This string value I need to convert into integer format. To convert from string to integer, we have two options. Either you can use convert dot to int, or we can use int dot parse. Anyone you can use. But both I can apply so that you will understand that what is the difference between convert dot to int and int dot parse. Okay, let's apply that. So console dot write line first. Console dot write line of convert dot to int of convert dot to int 32. I'll show the differences between 16 and 32 and all. So yes. Next here I'm taking console dot write line of int dot parse. I'm taking int dot parse of yes. Int dot parse of yes. Now to stay back to our screen, console dot what we can say read. I can say that console dot read. Okay. So look at here. I took in this example string s equals to 100. I mentioned wantedly this 100 in the double quotes. That meaning is what here? Whenever we give the value inside the double quote, whatever the value, no matter it is, that value is string value. But wantedly, I'm trying to convert the string value into integer format. For that purpose, what methods I'm using? Two methods I'm using. Convert dot to int method as well as int dot parse method. As I said that both methods will work fine whenever you are trying to convert from string to integer. But you can see after converting this string value into integer format by applying this convert dot to int and int dot parse method, what result you are expecting? 100 for convert dot to int statement, one more 100 for int dot parse statement purpose we are expecting. So 200s are going to display in the output. You can see this. I'm expanding this and class file and click on save it and run it now. So 100 for convert dot to int 32 purpose. Another 100 is for int dot parse purpose. We can say that. Convert dot to int and int dot parse. Both are required here. Understand? So this is the case. Okay. So, but what is the difference are again? To know the difference, I'll tell you. Let's put it to comment section. Wantedly, I'm taking string yes equals to null so that I can show what is exactly difference. You will find out. String s equals to null means null reference it is. String s equals to null means it's a null reference, s value null. But once I give this null reference here, okay, null reference here, you can say that in string format null, but when it will be turned into integer format, what do you say? 0. We are representing in the string format null. But when it convert into integer format, what we can say? 0 only. Yes, 0, digit 0. But actually, according to previous scenario, two statements are there. One is convert dot to int, another one is int dot parse. For this, one zero should come, and for this statement, another 0 should come. How we noticed previously 200, 100 for this one, 100 for this one. Same like 10 should come here and 10 should come here. But look at the example, only 10 only will come, not two zeros. Why? Because one statement is a failure case in this context. I'll tell you what test statement. Now I can see you'll able to see in the output window, only 10 is located. Means convert dot to int is successfully convert the value, what value? String value into integer format, that is 0 represent. But whereas you can see int dot parse is a failure case. So when the value cannot be null, if the value is null, it is unable to convert from string to integer. So exception is raising here. Okay, argument null exception. The values can be null, that cannot be converted into integer format using int.parse. So if anybody asks what is the main difference between convert.toInt and int.parse means, you should say convert.toInt method is successfully convert the values from string to integer as well as null to integer. But whereas int.parse is only convert the value from string to integer, but it is unable to convert from null to integer. So whenever in your examples, whenever in your programs, if you'd like to convert a value null to integer, don't use int.parse. It will not able to convert because in this process, value cannot be null. Some value is required compulsory. But you can see when we have int convert dot to int method happily convert that null value to integer as well as string values also integer only. Both are working fine. This is the main difference between convert dot to int and int dot parse. So in my previous program, what I discussed now, you can see int dot parse I use, convert dot to int I use. Both are working fine because two are integer numbers. It's okay, no problem. String to integer, it's convert successfully. Okay. But look at here, I want to show you in this example, let's change the startup object from class 5 to class 4. Let's go back to previous program. I need to explain some other things. Class 4. Let's run this one. So here integer values I'm expecting. So here I'm giving integer values like 12 and 85 and press enter. So the sum is going to be displayed 97. It's perfect. So what is the difference between this convert dot 2 into 32 and convert dot 2 into 16 and convert dot 2 into 64, sir? Let's give this. It's because of just given input range values only. So let's try to work out it here. Convert dot 2 int I'm saying 2 into 16, first initial basic value here. Here also I'm taking convert dot 2 into 16. So you can see this when I take convert dot 2 into 16. So what is happening? You can see convert dot to int 16 console dot readline. When we go for this one, it's accept a minimum range of values only. Now you can see I'm giving 4-digit integer number here, so I can able to add successfully. It's working fine. But whenever you are exceeding the value, okay, you are exceeding the value, like I'm giving 5 digits integer value. Now you can see it's going to be give error. Value was either too large or too small, an integer 16 like this only. So its maximum range, it's not available. So if I take this 32, when we go for 32, okay, I'll explain you ranges later. Okay, when we talk about data types, I'll explain you clearly what are the ranges are required here. So otherwise I'll give chart also, you can go through it, no problem. So you can see when I take 32, so what kind of range values it is possible to accept. Now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers I'm taking. Again here also 9 numbers I'm taking. So up to 9 numbers, it's happily it is work out, no problem at all. So this is the minimum range. But whenever I try to exceed the 9 numbers, like you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 I'm giving. It is large again. Okay, so this is the minimum range actually. But we have a 264 also there in our intelligence. We have 264. We'll find out now. So 264. But actually 264 is for large extent values. It's not suitable for minimum range like integer values. Look at here. Just I want to tell you that the data type mechanism. So what we have, just open the document. Let's try to do this one. Now you can see this. Later, I said that you can see data types are actually there are 3 types of data types in C language: value, C plus C sharp language, value type, reference type, pointer data types. So these are the value types actually here. Integer, like you can see, this is the range actually here. Okay, integer values. It is going to be there like this only. This is the range, integer. So 4-byte memory size, the range is going to be like this only. This is bytes format here. We can convert that byte into decimal format. Then we can able to get that value, silent integer like this. This is the range actually according to here. The memory size of data types may be changed according to 32-bit or 64-bit operating system. I have a 32, 64-bit operating systems are there here. These are the data type range. I'll explain you later clearly. Don't worry about this data type. Just I'm showing the chart. Okay, based on the size, it is going to work on it. So look at here, 64 is generally for two large extent values, but you are declaring a minimum, just basic data type like int values. But whenever I'm taking this integer value, I'm declaring, but you're asking them into two large extent values, it's not suitable. Okay, so this two integer is suitable for range of only 32 and 16, but it's not 64. In this case, what we need to do, either you can do increase the data type, like which is suitable to 2 into 64, or here also we can decrease the conversion mechanism, 32 or 16. So in 2 into 64, generally it's going to suitable for large values like double. Double is another data type here. Okay, so now it is 2 in 64. You are taking two large values and you are asking them to convert into two large extent only. It's working fine. So when we go for this one, happily it will work. Now you can see maximum large extent values only we can able to use it now like this only. You can see this. Okay. Yes, you can use long data type also. I'll tell you what are the data types are there and how to use it clearly. I'll give the structure. You don't worry that. Okay, just let me complete the basic things first. So it is coming like this only to here. Okay, so this is 2 in 64. But look at here, sir. Even though I took double, double means actually it is going to accept integer values as well as float values. Both should accept. But in this context, what is happening? You can see if I am going to trying to add some floating point representation, two float numbers I would like to add here. So it is giving exception again. Okay, what exception? Format exception. Input string was not in the correct format. Okay, so this is abnormal termination. It is coming. So we have exception handling mechanism also to avoid this abnormal termination. But what's the problem here? Here we entered float values, but unfortunately, you are asking that float into integer conversion. It's not possible. Okay. So what we need to do if you want to accept double values, here convert dot to double we can use. There is a mechanism called convert dot to double also there here. Convert dot to double. When we go this one, now it will happily work out even in this context. So integers will work and doubles will work. Now you can see here these values I'm adding. So this is going to work out, no problem at all. At the same time, we can have that floating point representation also we can able to work out. Now you can see floating point representation. I want to add these two numbers. So like this, you can do. This is also possible here. This is what we are doing here. Okay. Now, next, sir, I want to represent the float, sir. Float. Okay. So convert dot to double is no. It's a small range. Which you are going to give large range. But convert dot to float is there. Now you can see to float. No. What is there? Yes, that is what I'm saying. Float dot parse is there. You can use this WhatsApp float dot parse. So if you want to adding two float values or something, so float dot parse is there clearly. So not into dot parse. If you take into dot parse, then we can use into dot parse. If we take integer data type. But if we take float here, then float dot parse, we have to take it now. Let's execute now. We are having float dot parse data type here clearly. So I'm entering the values here, floating point representation. So we are having this floating values conversion clearly here. So 467.35 it's coming. So this is floating point adding numbers clearly here. Okay. So this is conversion specifications what we have float to in float value conversion, into value conversion, double value conversion, how to accept values at runtime. I'm saying that once again, if you want to accept values at runtime in C# .NET, by default, all those values are treated them as string format. So you have to convert them into integer format. For that purpose, we have convert dot to int into dot parse are there. Or you can convert them into float format. Then we can use float dot parse. Float dot parse is there here. So according to your thing, you can able to convert. Though we declared as a float, okay, by default it's going to be converted into by default it's going to treat it as string format only. But we are converting that string into where float format. So we are conversion specification we are using here. If you are not using, what will happen? Some errors will come. Now you can see, just let me close this one. I'm not going to converting this. What's happening? You can see this. I'm just reading that values. I declare float values, but even you are trying to enter the float values. But when we execute, it will not allow me to enter. Now you can see cannot implicit convert string to float because we are accepting values at runtime. No, runtime values by default how it will treat string, but you have to convert them into integer or float or any other data type. How it is possible? Conversion specifications. It can be used, but we are not using conversion specification here. Okay, but here only this mechanism at runtime values only, sir, not at compile time. For example, you can see I'm not going to enter any values here. Okay, so here I'm giving float ABC. A value I'm taking 34.5. Here only I'm declaring. B value I'm taking any other floating value like B equals to 45.6. Here only I'm declaring. For this, no need to convert because here only directly declared the float values. But let's look at here now. You can see when I'm going to declare this floating point representation, what's happening? Even still, we are getting error. Why it is getting error? I'll tell you. Okay. So that is, you can see this use an F suffix to create literal for this type. Means what? Floating point representation declaration purpose in C#.NET. Strongly recommend to use suffix called F only. Whenever I give this A equals to 34.5F and B equals to 45.6F and C equals to A plus B, then we are doing this addition of these two numbers clearly. Floating point rate is 80.1. Sir, you may get that why we are not converting these values. No need to convert because inside the program already given the values. Then for them, no need to convert. Only when it is conversion is required, those values are expecting at running time while executing the program at running time in the console window, output window, when we enter the input values there, that values, no matter what values you are entering integer, you are entering float, you are entering string values, all together, only one form it is going to accept, that is string form. That's what you can say it is command line argument. You can say string square bracket args by default. Every user input value in C#.NET will be treated as string format only. String format only. That's what here. But all the time we will not deal with strings only. So sometimes I need to deal with numbers. Sometimes I need to deal with floating. Sometimes I need to deal with large float values like double values. At that time, what I need to do? As a programmer, as per your convenience, you should convert them into required data type. For that, conversion specification is there. Convert dot to int dot parse, int dot float, float dot parse, convert dot to double. Okay. So these kind of things will be their conversion specification. So with explicit conversion, only possibility is there in C#.NET. Implicit conversion is not possible in C#.NET. That's what you can show that it will show that clearly cannot convert from string to integer implicitly. It's not possible. So this is data type conversion what we have clearly here. And complete data type discussion, I'll take one session. Most probably tomorrow I'll cover all those data types clearly. So what are the data types are there? How do we work with the data types? What kind of data types are there? Clear picture I'll give about data types in tomorrow's session. And tomorrow we will discuss most important concepts. That is also fundamental and basic need for the programmer. That concept is called control statements. Control statements will be. Okay. Yeah, it is going to read hold the screen to stay back permanently. Control statements. What are the control statements are they? So these are the control statements we'll discuss in tomorrow. Just list out here. One is conditional statements. Conditional statements. Next one is iterative statement. Iterative statement. Iterative statements. Iterative statements. Next one is transfer statement. Transfer statements. Transfer statements. These are all conditional statements, iterative statements, transfer statements. These are all control statements on. Control statements are for what purpose? Once we have a control statements in your program, as a programmer, you can have control on it. Without use, if you are not using control statement, you don't have control on it. Okay, way to execute, when to execute, you have some restriction, then we can use control statements here. But conditional statements are what? If else, nested if, nested if, nested if, then next switch case, switch case. These are all control statements, conditional statements. And iterative statements means for loop, while loop, do while loop, for each loop. These are the iterative statements. Transfer statements are what here? Break, continue. These are the transfer statements. So these are very, very, very important in logical way. Those who know very well about these all conditional statements, iterative statements, transfer statements, then they can understand logic more. This is very important. In every language, these things will be there. Some languages are not support do while or something, like Python don't support do while like this. Python don't support switch case here. So some languages are different, but C Sharp.NET everything is possible. We'll discuss in detail what is if, when do we use if, what is if else, what is nested if, and switch case, for loop, while loop, do while loop, break and continue. Everything in detail we'll discuss in tomorrow. But before this, I will discuss about some important information related to data types in tomorrow's session. Okay, so that's it. That's it for today. So see you tomorrow on same link. So we'll discuss continuation. Do you have any questions? You can ask me now.
Sir, this is Chaitanya. Good morning.
Yeah, yeah, tell me.
Actually, I just missed like two classes. Today is my first class. How many classes I have missed, sir?
Just wait. So you missed two classes.
I think
Anyway, you
because today is my first class.
yeah,
Actually.
just wait, just wait. I strongly recommend to visit YouTube. Okay, you can see this YouTube, and after that, you can type in the YouTube Durga Soft videos or Durga Soft. You can type it. And whatever I took the sessions, it is there here. They uploaded clearly, but don't
Okay.
expect all the videos. They'll not upload. Just for few sessions for demo purpose, they upload already. So you can visit this Durga Software Solutions, and you can go to playlist immediately. Once you click on playlist, so already I took the sessions. No, like this is my Python sessions. Not where is the .NET sessions? Yeah, this is the .NET sessions.
Okay.
.NET tutorials by Mohan Reddy at 11 a.m. So in these two videos are there clearly. You can play and listen carefully. So this is the third video. Might be they'll upload today also after this class. So first, second, third. This is from the introduction part. It was there. So you'll get more clarity on this.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay.
And
So
moreover, is there any batch in the morning, 6 to 9, between six
no,
to nine?
no. We have already batches. You can see 6 a.m. I have a Python class already. It's going. I
Okay.
can't
Okay.
able to. At 7 a.m. I have one more Python one-to-one. Like this continuously every 1 hour I have a sessions, but this is fixed time. 11 a.m. only we are going to handle this. It's a continuation. It will not change time also.
Okay. And what are topics you will cover, sir? ASP.NET MVC or ASP.NET Core?
No, ASP.NET only completely. ASP.NET, C Sharp.NET, SQL Server with ADO.NET completely. Basic Python, basic .NET package. This is.
Okay. What about ASP.NET Core, sir?
A core will not cover. Core in the sense actually we don't have this different operating system. So we'll go for .NET framework through only completely, not core.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank
After
you, sir.
ASP.NET, ASP.NET, you can attend separately MVC.
Okay. Okay, sir. Means there is any difference between .NET Core and ASP.NET?
Much more different. Some pattern will be changed because you can able to that makes sense. Platform independent core means anywhere it can be able to do. But
Okay.
.NET framework means only on Windows you can able to work on it. But
Okay.
some changes, application development scenario will be changed. Something.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. See you tomorrow at same time. Okay. Yes.